Sometimes things just work out, with fate conspiring to help you do your job. That was the case with this review. We needed a way to get from our Michigan base to Chicago to test the restyled 2017 Chevy Trax, and it just so happened there was a 2016 model available to make the trip in. It's rare we get to do a direct back-to-back test. If there's one thing we learned from the 600-mile round trip in the 2016 Trax, it's that Chevy's smallest coupe has a lot of room for improvement. After a full day of city-heavy work with the 2017 model, it's clear GM addressed some of its smallest crossovers' glaring flaws. This is the coupe Chevrolet should have introduced in the first place. Those changes don't really concern the hardware. The Trax is the same basic Gamma 2-based crossover it was before, a sibling to the Buick Encore. It again comes standard with a 1.4-liter, turbocharged 4-cylinder Ecotec engine with 138 horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque, mated to a high-dramatic 6-speed 46-speed automatic transmission, with standard front and optional all-wheel drive. Like the Encore, the Trax rides on McPherson struts in front and a torsion beam rear suspension, and the rack and pinion steering has electric assist. With that in mind, we'll keep the driving impressions brief, because the 2017 Trax is indistinguishable from the 2016 model behind the wheel. The turbocharged 4-cylinder sounds buzzy and gasps under hard acceleration and at freeway speeds, but it's smooth and reasonably quick around town. The 6-speed automatic is fine, in that easy-to-ignore way that typifies most commuter-focused transmissions, and the suspension tune leans heavily towards comfort without actually being too comfortable. The ride crashes and bounces over rough roads, with every impact, noise, and vibration transmitted clearly into the cabin. And it's not much fun neither. There's too much body roll and the steering is too soft to offer an entertaining driving experience. The changes from 2016 to 2017 are instead on and just under the surface. For one, the 2016 Trax is a homely little jelly bean. It's a bloated Aveo on stilts to the relatively fashionable Encore. For 2017, Chevrolet's designers addressed styling criticism to a degree. The new fascia has the look of a modern, U.S. market Chevy instead of recalling the unattractive, not for the U.S. Orlando MPV. In fact, the LED-lined nose for 2017 is reason enough to pick the refreshed car over its predecessor. Sadly, the dramatic improvement doesn't extend to the tail, which is a largely carryover design. But the cabin's changes are more dramatic than the exterior improvements. The Trax still has one of the cheaper-feeling interiors in this affordable segment, but the 2017 offers both improved materials and a better overall layout. The transformative effort starts with the instrument cluster. Like the Sonic compact car it shares parts with, the Trax ditches its odd, motorcycle-inspired gauge cluster for a more conventional layout with an analog tach and speedometer left in center, and a monochrome information screen on the right. While we'll lament the loss of a digital speedo, the new layout is both easier on the eye and better at conveying trip information. If only the fuel gauge had also made the move from digital to analog, we'd have a better idea of how much fuel is actually in the tank. While the new instruments are nice to look at, super cheap black plastic still dominates most of the rest of the view on the dash indoors. On higher-end grades like the Premier, it replaces the LTZ trim level for 2017. There is a color strip of faux leather for the dash indoor panel.